Hello, this is Mtronio1 doing a little mini review of, may as well do all in one, the bike pump and the PSI reader. This is also a PSI reader. See what it is, I'm quite new to bikes, e-bikes, but mainly I'm new to PSI. I didn't know what PSI was until the last couple of weeks. Didn't know what it meant. In the olden days, I would just pump my tyre up to this hard and then go for a ride and hope for the best. But because I've got an e-bike, I wanted to know what a PSI was because it's recommended 25 PSI on my certain bike. So I decided to buy a pump. I looked on reviews and stuff like that, saw this, and I thought, well, you put this in here, put that in there, put it in your wheel, pump it up, and then that would move and go up and up and up. But there was a problem. It wasn't going up. That bar was just staying still, and I didn't know why. I don't know if it was broken. I don't know if my wheels were already pumped up to 20 PSI and whether the pump was still broken. I needed to find out what my tyres were to move forward. I did go in the bike forums on Facebook. I put a little post in there and said, listen, this is not working, I'm not sure why. And they were saying, is this a joke? That's not the right pump, yada yada yada. I even got in touch with the people who sold it for some instructions, because even though you'd think it doesn't need instructions, it didn't come with instructions. The only time I needed instructions in my life, and I haven't got any. I mean, you get this so you can attach it to your bike, get these so you can do your other valve settings. So what I did was, I bought one of these. It's a generic digital reader. Some come in names, some don't, but it's pretty much all the same thing. All you do, you turn it on. It looks better. My camera doesn't pick that up very well. And you press it in, and it tells you what your PSI is. Well, I used that on my wheels. You can't turn it off. You got to let it go off by itself. I used that on my wheels, and it turned out one of my wheels was 10.2 PSI, and my other wheel was 9.2 PSI. Then what I did, I got the pump, put it in, because I was using this as an actual pump. I started pumping it up, and when I was getting to the close to the 20 PSI mark, which is just over there, see that little red line, that's the one I was getting it to. In between them two, I started noticing the arrow moving. I mean, if those bike people had told me in the bike forum, these so-called experts, they say, oh, just keep pumping it up until the arrow moves, right? Because the arrow will move, the higher the PSI will go. Now, I did get told that kind of happens sometimes. It'll start moving at 60 PSI because it's 120. Well, this one's a 210 PSI one, so might not have been compatible. But it turns out it's totally compatible with your bike, or at least my Strada one. You just got to keep pumping it up, and eventually that arrow will move. And yeah, that's all I have to do. So I was a bit mad. Oh, of course, let's see the review on the actual pump itself. It does get accurate compared to this, put that in, test it on that. I mean, you can't really see the numbers on it, you're just going off these little lines here. But that's all I need to do, pump it up and check it with that. And it's pretty decent. This, I don't know why this moves like this, but this is pretty decent. Bad news is you can't take that off, but you might be able to unscrew it. Now, the bad thing about this is it does get hot, and because it gets hot, this bit here tends to unscrew a bit and it can start breaking. And if you don't realise it, you think, oh, why is this broken? But all you have to do is screw that back into place and just like leave it for about a minute or two for the thing just to cool down a bit, and then go back to pumping your wheel up. I mean, when it comes to a pump, you know, it does its job. It works when you know what you're doing. And is it worth the money? Well, it's metal, but it's not. It's cheap, you know. In my olden days, I used to pay like 50p or a pound for a pump. I got this for just under a tenner. I feel like I've been ripped off with this £10 pump, but it does its job, and I'm happy that I know it works. You do get this with it, so, you know, and you do get them with it if you ever get a different valve on a bike, and you do get that to put on your bike. So even though it's a tenner, I could have got a lot cheaper from China. It's just that it would have took a while to get here. Now I was looking for PSI readers. This is a generic one. Some do come to names, and I just didn't know what to get. I looked at these. They were $5.99. The batteries tend to be rubbish on them. You can change the battery by unscrewing that and putting a new one on, but we all know those flat little batteries what they sell are really horrible. But you can pick them up dead cheap anyway. And is it accurate? It's accurate from this to this. I don't know anything else, and my wheels are now. My back wheel is about 24 psi, my front wheel is about 23 psi, because I don't think I need to do high psi on the front wheel. I haven't tested my bike out yet because I'm waiting for deliveries to come today, but it should feel a lot different than I've been riding to. Do I feel like I got ripped off with this? No. Well, you know, you should be about. Normally, you think something like this should be a pound, but it all depends how many they can knock out in one go and how many they can sell. And if they can't sell a lot, yeah, you're gonna have to pay a few quid for it. I don't mind paying $5.99 for it because at least I know what my PSI readings are. My ratings on it, well, it's the first time I've ever had a PSI, apart from that one. Well, it seems 100%. It does a brake, it has a light on it, so you know where you're putting your thing. It has a nice little reader on, it stays on the reader every time you do it. You just got to wait for it to go off instead of turning it off, which adds to the battery life. And if you're in a hurry or you like doing things quick, you just got to wait, which is annoying. So I'll give that a 9 out of 10. I don't know what the battery's like on it. I know when I was looking on Amazon, that's where I got it from. Some of the reviews saying it will come in dead, and that's the battery. And on this, well, because of no instructions, I'll give it 9 out of 10. Oh well, and then there's the price on it, which might be a bit expensive, but you can get it from China for a couple of quid if you can. So that's me. That's an 8-minute video on 2 different types of PSI readers, and one's a pump. You know, I'm going to change my thing. I'm going to say 7 out of 10 just because this broke, but you can screw it back in, and it comes with no instructions, and the price is variable because you can get it from different shops at different prices. I just happened to get this from eBay, and I got this from Amazon. So yeah, thumbs up. If you've got one of these, now you know how to do it. Have a good one.